So apparently Canada is now exporting its doctors like it's maple syrup, except Americans don't want the maple syrup, they just want the surgeons. What the fuck? Today's clip, a Canadian surgeon who finally snapped, packed up, and moved to Texas. And honestly, after what he says, you'll wonder why any doctor is still practicing in Canada.
I moved from a major Toronto hospital to Texas last year. It's just not making sense to stay in Canada. This hospital offered me more money. I'm now paying way less tax. This is going to happen more and more, guys.
And remember, this is the country that always spouses the idea that Canada has the best healthcare on the planet. So why is he leaving? It sounds like it's for money, obviously, and tax reasons. But before I break that down and expose how much more money he's going to save by going to Texas, look what Doug Ford just said, totally pretending like everything is just fine in Ontario. We have so many doctors, nobody's leaving. He's an idiot.
We don't put a gun to anyone's head. We don't handcuff any of our doctors to stay in Ontario. If you treat your doctors well and you respect them, they're going to stay and they're going to have a thriving practice. In saying that, some of our docs may move out west, they may move out east for personal reasons.
Or down south.
And if any docs around the country, around the world, that's what we're attracting. Doctors around the world right now to come and practice in Ontario.
If you want doctors from around the world to come to practice in Ontario, you need to incentivize them. Look, these doctors spend countless hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical school, in residency, time, 10, 12 years of their life dedicating to be a doctor. You need to pay them well. And not only that, when they do make a high income, which I'll show you, they do make a high income in Canada, but it all goes away to taxes. Fugazi, fugazi.
Fugazi, fugazi. It's a wazi, it's a woozy. It's not fucking real.
So here are the facts. I looked up how much does the average surgeon make in Ontario? $370,000. And that's a crazy high income, right? You would think that's pretty good. Then I ask it, after all of the taxes, how much are they going to take home? The most important part, right? It's not about how much money you make, it's how much you keep and you take home. They're paying a 53% tax rate, not surprising. Anything over like 150 in Canada, you're paying over 50% tax. They only take home $215,000 from the $370 they made. God bless Canada, where they just take all your money. Vice versa, I asked it, how much do surgeons make in Texas? The average surgeon makes $428,000. This is USD, by the way, now in Texas, and they only pay a 37% tax rate. That's the top tax rate in Texas, because in Texas, there's no income state tax. So they're paying a 37% top tax rate, but they take home $270,000 USD. As opposed to $215 Canadian for doing the exact same job. But it's more than that. It goes beyond that. Because even though they take home more money, the cost of living in the US is way lower. The average house cost in Texas is $300,000. So here I'm going to show you a typical $300,000 house in Katy, Texas, 25 minutes outside of Houston. I'm sure you've heard of Houston, right? That's a pretty big city. In Ontario, that's like the equivalent to living in Milton, right? We're about 45, 30 minutes outside of Toronto, the big city. But house prices here are $300,000 for this house. Look at this house. You can't buy this in Canada. $300,000 US is the equivalent to about 430, 450,000 Canadian. Where can you buy a house like this in Ontario? I'll wait for 430,000 Canadian. It's never going to happen. Certainly not 30, 40 minutes outside of the major city. Never going to happen. So these surgeons are making more money. They're keeping more money because taxes are way lower and housing prices are way lower. Gas is lower, food is lower, clothes is lower. Look, I'm a Canadian. I live in the US and have been for the past 4 years for the winters. And we moved our business down to the US for this exact reason. I am a statistic. I'm just like this surgeon. Although I'm not as important, societally speaking, I'm a statistic just like him. I'm leaving for the US for more money, lower taxes. We already live in the US for almost half the year. Now we're getting our visa in about 1 month from this day. Actually, I'm filming this video. We have our interview to get our visa officially, and we'll be living in the US full time after that. Growing our business, providing jobs for American citizens. Anyway, I can go on and on about that. But this is where it gets even funnier. We have American boomers, I should say. It's always the boomers. Sorry for the boomers watching, but it's always the boomers. An American boomer fleeing America to come to Canada. So just as we have professional Canadians leaving for America for a better life to make more money, we got some weirdos leaving Trump land because he's ruining the country coming to Canada. Check out this clip.
Well, here we are. It's Friday, and we are just literally minutes away from the border to Canada as we flee the U.S. Who would have thought at age 60 that this would be our day and our plan and our actions?
This guy's acting like he's leaving a war-torn third world country, bombs flying over his head. You live in the greatest country on earth. You live in the greatest country with the most opportunity, 400 million population, the business epicenter of the world, low taxes, low regulation. It's easy to start a business. What are you doing? You want to come to Canada where house prices in Ontario, the average house price is 900,000 Canadian, and the average salary in Canada is just about 60,000 Canadian. House prices are almost 8 times the annual income. That's insane. Whereas in America, it's about 4 to 5 times. It is so much more affordable to get ahead and to live a better life and to create wealth. What are you doing? But hey, I don't know. He's lived his whole life. He's seen it all, I guess, and he wants something better in Canada. Well, come on in, I guess. Come on in. We got many Canadians that are going to trade spots with you. No problem. I mean, let's look at some data here. Canada's unemployment rate is 6.9%. America right now is 4.2%. The Canadian dollar is the worst it's been in almost 7-8 years. 71 cents on the dollar. That's like the worst it's ever been. The Canadian dollar right now is the Canadian peso. Like, it's absolutely worth trash. And not only that, we have a fellow Canadian who just came back from Florida to see family, I guess, and went shopping and is now complaining about the price of food. Something I do at the end of every winter. We come home in about June, and I see the same thing happen. Check out this clip.
So we moved from Toronto, Canada to South Florida almost 4 years ago, and we're back visiting now. And guys, the prices here, I don't know what's happening, but I just want to show you this bag of chocolate chips, for example. It's almost a pound, $16.50.
It's junk food, but yeah, anyway.
Okay, apples.
Here we go.
This bag of, it's organic, they're organic, but that's what we buy. $9. In Florida, we buy the same size, the same organic gala apples for about $4 or $4.50. What the hell is happening here?
Yeah, I can 100% confirm this. This is the exact same thing we see when we go down to Florida for the winters. Produce is so much more affordable. It's better quality because it's picked better, right? In Canada, where are you getting these apples right now, right? I'm filming this in middle of November. These apples are picked in August, September, so they're just crappy, and you're paying $9 a bag. You know, produce in Canada at this time of year is just going insane. You want strawberries, raspberries, fresh lettuce, fresh celery. You're paying an insane amount of money, especially over the winter. What does it all boil down to? The weak Canadian dollar. We import most of our produce from the U.S. Yes. Canada does rely on the U.S., of course. We get most of our food from the U.S. because our climate is horrible. But when we have a low dollar, we got to buy the expensive food in USD and bring it back to Canada. So, of course, that increased cost gets passed on to the consumer, you. So look, whether it's a Canadian surgeon fleeing to Texas or a boomer fleeing America to Canada, the pattern is all the same. People are moving with their feet. But instead of complaining, here are some real action steps, because this channel is all about exposing the issue, but also giving the solution. Number 1, understand your numbers. Understand taxes, understand income, understand where your money is and where it is going. And in Canada, and most Western economies, we know the government's just spending money on stupid stuff. Even in America. America's not perfect. But Canada's just on a mission to just bankrupt the country with our deficit growing to $80 billion starting next year. Like, it's just insane. The money's going nowhere. Our dollar's going to crap. Jobs are literally fleeing to the US. And we obviously have high level people, high societal worth people like doctors, dentists, entrepreneurs, lawyers, all leaving to the US because Canada is just a ship people want to get off. Number 2, build important skills that are valuable. Something you can build a business and build those skills anywhere. Remote skills, ideally. If you're a carpenter, if you're a mechanic, you can do those skills anywhere. If you're a software developer, if you know how to edit videos or make websites for businesses, those are skills you can take anywhere in the world, and even better yet, move to a cheaper area, maybe something like the Philippines or Asia, and get paid in USD. Now you're living like a king. It's important to have skills like that now more than ever as we become a globalized world. That's just, it just is what it is. That's where we're going. It's soon going to be a world economy. Probably in my lifetime, I wouldn't doubt it. if we just have one government. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. And finally, the last step, you got to stop waiting for politicians to fix your issues. A lot of Canadians watching this channel are proud Canadians and are even yelling at me in the comments, why are you leaving? Stay and fight for your country. Dude, I don't owe the country anything. Okay, I pay in to this country. Just because I was born 3 hours from the border doesn't mean I have to stay in Canada and stay here and suffer. They're not going to change it. Not in my lifetime. Even if Pierre Poilievre did win or does win in the near future, it's going to take decades to fix the shit they've been doing for the past 50, 60 years in Canada. I'm not waiting for that. This is my life. This is my family I'm taking care of. We're going to go down to the US where we belong, where we're respected, where if we work hard, we get rewarded with lower taxes and keep more of our own money. It's a better place to grow a business. I'm going to go where I'm wanted. And you should go where you're wanted as well. So if Canada's not working for you and you want to go to the US or somewhere else, but the US specifically, hit the subscribe button. I got so much more to share with you. But also go in the description and follow me on Instagram where I talk about this way more and teach you a lot more rapid fire things. And you can follow along with my life as a Canadian moving to America and living in America. So if all that sounds cool to you, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video.